Hi there, Live Bet Tennis Guy here once again, as I'm going to be every single day here on YouTube. We've just finished with quarterfinal Thursday at Indian Wells, and it was a really good day for the Live Bet Tennis Guy once again. I hope anyone that listened yesterday has made a bit of money out of my predictions. I'll start with the girls. Victoria Azarenka had to retire with a hip injury, down 3-love to Caroline Wozniacki, so we'll leave that one alone. The other match was Peng Shuai, as she's now known, against Maria Sharapova, and that went to 3 sets. The Live Bet Tennis Guy's preview yesterday said that the value was on Peng, and to try to get her at a decent price early in the first set, if possible. And let's have a look and see what happened in that match. Now, this graph is showing the price for Peng Shuai just during the first set. So she started just under $3 around here. She was down 2-1 in the first set, and her price went over $3, and then she went ahead in the first set, and her price went down to about $2.20 on a couple of occasions. Now, the Live Bet Tennis Guy's advice was to back Peng Shuai during the first set at a good price, so hopefully you guys got on here. If you did so, at this point you could back her at 3 and then lay her off at 220 and end up, well, close to 220 and end up getting rid of your liability on the bet. Otherwise, you may have backed Peng Shuai when she got to $4 or $5. Hopefully, at the end of the first set, when she reached $7. Seeing as she won the second set 7-5, it really doesn't matter at what point you backed Peng Shuai. If you did back her at any point here, you'd end up in a really positive trading position. Hopefully, making money on either outcome, Sharapova or Peng Shuai winning. What's interesting about this, and we've just started the Live Bet Tennis Guy, so if we had some more followers, I'd really like to get your feedback on who had the courage to, if they had backed Peng Shuai at any point here, who had the courage to increase their liability after her losing the first set. And so we're keeping our liabilities at about $50 for each match, just to keep things nice and easy. But in some situations, as we discussed with the match of Shahar Peers a few days ago, the best play at this point is to increase your liabilities by, say, $20 by laying Sharapova once again, or backing Peng Shuai, same thing at this point, meaning that the price that you need Shuai to get back to get rid of your liability and end up in a win-win situation is much lower than it would be otherwise. Regardless, you would have made money in this situation, but the people who played it this way and increased the liability at this point would have done much better. Okay, on to the men. Tommy Robredo had to withdraw from his match with a leg injury, and he's going to miss Miami with that. So Del Potro goes through the semis. The other match was an absolute beauty for the Live Bet Tennis Guy. Nadal versus Karlovic. If you'd been listening to the Live Bet Tennis Guy earlier in the week, I was talking about how well Karlovic was playing in beating Ferrer and Simon, how he looked like a real threat at this tournament, even though he's unlikely to win it. He was looking really good. And Live Bet Tennis Guy's advice was to try to get on Karlovic early in the first set and get rid of the liability at the first opportunity. So let's have a look what happened. Now this graph's showing Karlovic's price during the match. As you can see, he started off around about $7, and every time Nadal held serve in the first set, Karlovic touched at $8. So hopefully this is the price that you guys backed Karlovic. In fact, what you probably should have done is to lay Nadal. Generally, you back and lay the favourite because liquidity is always with the favourite. But for the purposes of this graph, we'll talk about Karlovic's price. So if we got Karlovic at $8, he at 5-all he broke Nadal and won the first set 7-5, and he dropped all the way down to $3. So if we're going to continue with our liability of about $50 per match, we could have $50 at $8 would have given us a profit of $350, and for a liability of $350 we could have laid $175 on Karlovic down here. So in other words, we could have ended up with a profit of $175 on Nadal if we'd done just that simple trade there, buy and sell during the first set and then at the end of the first set. So guys, and once you get a profit of $175 on Nadal, it doesn't matter who it's against, you sit on that and you just take it. It's free money really when it's on Nadal. There were more fluctuations in the match, but yeah, as I said, you just sit on Nadal. You don't muck around with profit on Nadal. Now, the interesting thing about this The game that Karlovic broke Nadal, he broke him to love. So I would imagine that at some point when Karlovic's price dropped when he made it to, say, love 40, I would anticipate that would be it there. If it were me, I would have tried to get rid of part of all of my liability at this point, and then any other profit I had left on Karlovic would have been laid at this point. So if that were the case, we may not have ended up with the $175 profit on Nadal. Maybe it would have been $120 or $100, but still, either way you would have played it. At love 40, it's almost at the point where you'd leave it and hope that Karlovic broke, but there's no right answer there. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. All right, we're going to have a look at Indian Wells Friday now. We'll start with Djokovic-Gasquet, and this is really a non-event from a betting perspective. The Joker's way too short at $1.12 to be backing against a player of Gasquet's ability, and Djokovic just doesn't lose, so there's no point backing Gasquet either. The only way I can see being involved in this match is if Gasquet happened to sneak the first set and then maybe back Djokovic at about $1.50. Next match we've got is Wickmayer-Bartoli. This is the lowest profile match of the day, but I think it's going to be the closest, and I think that the odds are around the wrong way at the moment. Wickmayer killed Shahar Peer, but as we talked about a couple of days ago, Peer was buggered after three setters. The last one a 7-6 in the third against Schiavone, so Wickmayer really bullied her and looked good, but Bartoli's been one of the form players after losing first round at the Aussie Open. She's been great. So I think it's going to be a good trading match. A lot of breaks of serve, a lot of fluctuations, but I'd be looking to enter the market on Bartoli at $2.50 to $3 and playing from there. Match of the day, Fed Wawrinka. Fed leads 9-1 head-to-head. He lost in Monte Carlo in 2009. Wawrinka looked great in Australia. He killed Roddick. There's the whole Peter Lundgren factor. He looked like the player that was going to leap to the top 10, but he played a horrible match against Federer. Looked like he was intimidated. He's been good this week. I definitely wouldn't be backing Federer at about $1.25, but I'm not willing to play Stan after what I saw in Australia. But if things are tight, gets to a 4-all, 5-all, and that price is still available to lay Federer, then maybe I'd play that. And the night match, guys, Wozniacki-Sharapova. Wozniacki at the moment to back about $1.30. I think if you could get her $1.40 during the match, that'd be a real steal. She's not going to lose. She's really solid. Sharapova's all over the place. Well, that's it for today, guys. Good luck tomorrow. We'll be back with another review and preview. We'll see you then. Bye.